Hello children, again we'll continue to read Kalevala. Watch the previous video. This is Kalevala for kids. It's a Karelian Finnish epos, or rather Finnish Karelian. And here this wolf will help me. Oh my god. So we will read you my favorite verse from Kalevala. It's called Ilmarinen the Blacksmith forges himself a wife made of metal, of gold and silver. And if you again are an MST3K fan, maybe if you request, I can read you about Sampo that also was forged by Ilmarinen. And as I said before in the previous video, Gerald Rule Tolkien invented the Elvish language that you all love so much after hearing Finnish language. And let me show you why. Okay, let's begin. Ilmarinen's Bride of Gold. Let me actually show you a picture in both books before we begin. Kalevala. Some SMR for you. Here's the picture from a Soviet Kalevala. Ilmarinen forges himself a bride of gold and silver from metal. I'm taxi. And now from the Finnish children's book. Let me see where. Maybe actually they missed it. I don't remember that there is a golden braid of Ilmarinen in the Finnish children's book. Okay, but this is, for example, the picture how Ilmarinen forges Sampo, because he didn't forge Sampo the first time. It was many attempts, and here he forged a golden cow, and after that he melted it back to make Sampo. And let me see, on every, oh, here I found it, on every page of this book there is a secret character. Here he is, a spider. He is on every page of this book. It's like, where's Wally? You're supposed to find him. Okay, so let's proceed to reading the verse. Rune number 37. Ilmarinen's Bride of Gold. Ilmarinen, metal worker, wept one day and then a second, wept the third from morn till evening, or the death of his companion. Once the maiden of the rainbow did not swing his heavy hammer, did not touch his copper handle, made no sound within his smithy, made no blow upon his anvil, till 3 months had circled over. Then the blacksmith spake as follows: Woe is me, unhappy hero! Do not know how I can prosper. Long the days and cold and dreary, longer still the nights and colder. I am weary in the evening, in the morning still I am weary. Have no longing for the morning, and the evening is unwelcome. Have no pleasure in the future. all my pleasures gone forever, with my faithful life companion, slaughtered by the hand of witchcraft. Often will my heartstrings quiver when I rest within my chamber, when I wake at dreamy midnight, half unconscious, vainly searching for my noble wife departed. Wifeless lived the mourning blacksmith, altered in his form and features, wept 1 month and then another, wept 3 months in full succession. Then the magic metal worker gathered gold from deeps of ocean, gathered silver from the mountains, gathered many heaps of birchwood, filled with faggots 30 sledges, burnt with birchwood into ashes, put the ashes into furnace, laid the gold upon the embers, lengthwise laid a piece of silver, of the size of lamps in autumn, of the or the fleet-foot hare in a winter. Places servants at the bellows, thus to melt the magic metals. Eagerly the servants labor. Gloveless, hatless, do the workmen fan the flames within the furnace. Ilmarinen, magic blacksmith, works unceasing at his forging, thus to mold a golden image, mold a bride from gold and silver. But the workmen fail their master. Faithless stand they at the bellows, wow at the artist Ilmarinen. Fans the flame with force and of magic, blows 1 day and then a second, blows the third from morn till evening, then he looks within the furnace, looks around the oven border, hoping there to see an image rising from the molten metals. Comes a lambkin from the furnace, rising from a fire of magic, wearing hair of gold and copper, laced with many threads of silver. All rejoice, but Ilmarinen at the beauty of the image. This the language of the blacksmith. May the wolf admire thy graces. I desire a bride of beauty born from molten gold and silver. Ilmarinen the magician to the furnace threw the lambkin, added gold in great abundance, and increased the mass of silver, added other magic metals. Set the workmen at the bellows. Zealously the servants labor. Gloveless, hatless, do the workmen fan the flames within the furnace. Ilmarinen, wizard forgeman, works unceasing with his metals, molding well a golden image, wife of molten gold and silver. But the workmen fail their master. Faithless do they ply the bellows. Now the artist Ilmarinen fans the flames by force of magic, blows 1 day and then a second, blows a third from morn till evening. When he looks within the furnace, looks around the oven border, hoping there to see an image rising from the molten metals. From the flames a colt arises, golden maned and silver headed. Hoofs are formed of shining copper. All rejoice, but Ilmarinen at the wonderful creation. This the language of the blacksmith. Let the bears admire thy graces. I desire a bride of beauty, born of many magic metals. Thereupon the wonder forger drives the colt back to the furnace, adds a greater mass of silver and of gold the rightful measure, sets the workmen at the bellows. Eagerly the servants labor. Gloveless, hatless, do the workmen fan the flames within the furnace. Ilmarinen, the magician, works unceasing at his witchcraft, molding well a golden maiden, bride of of molten gold and silver, but the workmen failed their master. Faithlessly they ply the bellows. Now the blacksmith Ilmarinen fans the flames with magic powers, blows one day and then a second, blows a third from morn till evening. Then he looks within the furnace, looks around the oven border, trusting there to see a maiden coming from a molten metals. From the fire a virgin rises, golden-haired and silver-headed, beautiful in form and feature. All are filled with awe and wonder, but the artist and magician. Ilmarinen, metal worker, forges nights and days unceasing on the bride of his creation. Feet he forges for the maiden, hands and arms of gold and silver, but her feet are not for walking, neither can her arms embrace him. Ears he forges for the virgin, but her ears are not for hearing. Forges her a mouth of beauty, eyes he forges bright and sparkling, but the magic mouth is speechless, and the eyes are not for seeing. Spake the artist Ilmarinen, this indeed a priceless maiden. Could she only speak in wisdom, could she breathe the breath of Ukko? Thereupon he lays the virgin on his silken couch of slumber, on his downy place of resting. Ilmarinen heats his bathroom, makes it ready for his service, binds together silken brushes, brings 3 cans of crystal water, wherewithal to lave the image, lave the golden maid of beauty. When this task had been completed, Ilmarinen, hoping, trusting, laid his golden bride to slumber on his downy couch of resting. Ordered many silken wrappings, ordered bearskins 3 in number, ordered 7 lamb-wool's blankets, thus to keep him warm in slumber. Sleeping by the golden image he had forged from magic metals, warmed the side of Ilmarinen, that was wrapped in furs and blankets, chilled the parts beside the maiden. By her bride of gold and silver, one side warm, the other lifeless, turning into ice from coldness. Spake the artist Ilmarinen, not for me was born this virgin, not for the magic molten metals. I shall take her to Wainola, give her to old Wainamoinen as a bride and life companion, comfort to him in his dotage. Ilmarinen, much disheartened, takes the virgin to Wainola, to the plains of Kalevala, to his brother speaks as follows: O thou ancient Wainamoinen, look with favor on this image, make the maiden fair and lovely, beautiful in form and feature, suited for thy years declining. Wainamoinen, old and faithful, looked in wonder on the virgin, on the golden bride of beauty, spake these words to Ilmarinen: Wherefore dost thou bring this maiden? Wherefore bring to Wainamoinen, bride of molten gold and silver? Spake in answer Ilmarinen: Wherefore should I bring this image but for purposes the noblest? I have brought her as companion to thy life in years declining, as a joy and consolation when thy days are full of trouble. Spake the good old Wainamoinen, magic brother, wonder forger, throw the virgin to the furnace, to the flames thy golden image, forge from her 1,000 trinkets, take the image to the Estland, take her to the plains of Pohja, that for her the mighty powers may engage in deadly contest. Worthy trophy for the victor, not for me this bride of wonder, neither for my worthy people. I shall never wed an image born from many magic metals, never wed a silver maiden, never wed a golden virgin. Then the hero of the waters called together all his people, spake these words of ancient wisdom. Every child of Northland, listen. Whether poor or fortune favored, never bow before an image born of molten gold and silver. Never while the sunlight brightens, never while the moonlight glimmers. Choose a maiden of the metals, choose a bride from gold created. Cold the lips of golden maiden, silver breaths the breath of sorrow. Silver breaths the breath of sorrow. The end. So basically what happened is he laid beside this metal wife he made from gold and silver, and she was cold and not moving. Who knew? Okay. So that was the second verse I read, and excuse me if it wasn't the best. I really stumbled sometimes, but that was my favorite verse. Never marry a woman made of metal, of gold and silver. That was it, children, basically. Thank you, and find out about Kalevala. It's amazing. And read it yourself. Thank you. Kiitos. Näkemiin.